Russian President Vladimir Putin won another 6 years in power in an election.
Exit polls in Russia say President Vladimir Putin has won another term in office, winning more than 73% of the vote. Putin has been in power as either president or prime minister since 1999. He has switched back and forth between the two roles to circumvent a Russian law banning him from serving more than 2 consecutive terms as president. In this election, he faced 7 challengers, but no real threats from any of the contenders.
Putin's overwhelming and unsurprising victory puts him on track to rule Russia for nearly a quarter of a century, until 2024, by which time he will be 71 years old.
Russian voters headed to polling stations as Russian leader Vladimir Putin's aides have been determined to produce an outsized vote for him. Some analysts say the March 4th nerve agent poisoning on British soil of former Russian spy Sergei Skripal, which the British blame on Russia, was timed to engineer a confrontation with the West and boost a patriotic turnout for Putin. That suggestion has been denied by Russia, which disputes involvement in the nerve agent attack. But some voters had the unfolding diplomatic dispute in their mind.
Мне кажется, что все это надуманные.
I think the British government has made all of the allegations up. I think no one has poisoned Skripal.
Of the reunification with Crimea, it was 4 years ago today that the treaty was signed, bringing Crimea back under the umbrella of the Russian Federation. And this concert was organized in commemoration of that, just a stone's throw from Red Square. Star after star came on stage and sang famous songs with everyone singing along and dancing. But of course, the main event was President Putin himself. He came out just after it was announced that he had officially won, and this was the first time he spoke after that announcement. The crowd was extremely excited to see him, and he of course came out unsurprisingly with a huge smile on his face. But he had a very good message for those who were here, talking about unifying Russia and even coming together with those who may have voted for other candidates. He also talked about that the work that needs to be done going forward from now, and he also thanked everyone for coming out despite the cold tonight. But nobody really seemed to mind among the dancing, the singing, and drinking hot tea that's being sold around the square. And the square has been packed tonight. I can't see to both ends, but there are thousands of people packed in the square enjoying the concert.
Well, following those celebrations, Putin headed to his headquarters, where journalists were eager to ask him about the challenges he'll face in his next term. RT's Igor Zhdanov reports.
Vladimir Putin has just made an appearance here at his headquarters and then held a short press conference. And the first question he was asked was about the Skripal case, about the poisoning of a former Russian double agent in Great Britain. And the blame for the poisoning is being widely pinned on Russia and even on Putin personally. Here's how Vladimir Putin responded to those allegations.
The first thing that comes to my mind is that had this been a military poison, the people affected would have died immediately. This is obvious. The second thing is that there are no such substances in Russia. We destroyed all our chemical weapons as monitored by international inspectors. And we did this first, unlike some of our partners who promised to do the same but didn't fulfill their promise. We are ready for cooperation. In general, I think anyone with common sense understands that it's nonsensical for Russia to do such a thing before the election and the World Cup. It's just crazy.
Another announcement that came rather unexpected from Vladimir Putin was when he was asking a question whether or not he will be planning to run 6 years from now in the next presidential election. What Vladimir Putin did, he hinted that this could be his final term as the leader of Russia.
At the moment, I'm not planning any constitutional changes.
Do you think you will be in the presidential seat until 2030? Of course, if you change the constitution.
I think what you're saying is laughable. I'm not going to stay there until I turn 100.
He also talked about these cabinet appointments, about the potential shifts in the Russian government. He said that all of those will be announced after the inauguration. In terms of voter turnout, these elections have been spectacular. Not only the whole of Russia voted across all 11 time zones, but also we've seen huge queues of people abroad cast their vote, which they grabbed, of course. So a big turnout, not the largest in
Vladimir Putin's re-election is certain. Don't waste your time looking at his carefully scripted but sterile campaign for clues to Russia's future. Instead, look at the $327 billion defense modernization program that Putin signed in Sochi on November 27th after a non-stop 4-day session with Russia's top military brass. This in a country where personal incomes have been going down for 4 years, growing poverty is a key problem, and social protests are up 56%. But that's exactly the point. Russia is effectively at war. When he signed the defense modernization program, Putin called on all Russian enterprises, private or state, to be ready to switch to military production in a time of need, as he put it, in order to, again a quote, efficiently neutralize external threats. The message is clear. Putin is a wartime president, and wartime presidents are not to be replaced so long as the war is going on, and Putin, his propaganda machine, and his generals will make sure that it is, and gets hotter by the day. So what do you think will happen in Russia after Vladimir Putin's re-election in March 2018? Let us know in your comments. Also let us know what other topics you'd like our scholars to cover in 60 seconds. And be sure to like and subscribe for more research and videos from AI.